Hello, guys. So we're going to start the practicals now. Yeah, so can everyone just go on the links here? So there are two versions for the practicals. There's an English version and the French version. So everyone should take the version where it's more comfortable. So you have the links there. And also, are there people that requires like help with French? So maybe you can just indicate by showing your hand so that the tutors know where you are.
Awesome.
Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui ont besoin du français?
Oh, okay, awesome.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so these are your tutors. So they're going to be around the room. So if you have any question, just put any of these guys. So you have Juan, Sasha, Annie, Bami, Amel, Jero, and Ulrich. Okay, so let me just give like a few minutes for everyone to go on the notebook. So normally if you go on the link, it should take you to a page that looks like this. And then from here, you have to click on this link here, open in Colab. And when you do that, it will take you to another page that should be something like this. So let me repeat again. I think maybe I should go with everyone. So if you have this, if you go on one of these links, for example, on the French one, if you type this in your browser, it should take you to this page. And then you have to click here, and it will take you to this page. And then this is where you have like the notebook you're going to go through. Okay, guys, so the practical has 3 parts. Like the first part is just like some concepts and just to remind everyone. And then in the second part, we're actually going to do like a little bit of programming, and we're going to try to implement a deep learning model. And then we're going to do that in the third part as well. Okay, so I think like we're going to go like, let us go through the first part of the practical together. And like, I'm sure most of you guys know a lot of these things. So I want it to be interactive. So I'm going to ask some questions, and please try and answer the questions. Like anyone can just show his hand and try to answer the question. I don't want to reveal anything, but maybe it might be a good thing for you to answer the questions. Can anyone define what is machine learning?
Yeah, machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence, which computers or machine learn for historical data to perform a given task.
Okay, thank you. That's it. I think all of us agree on that. Then can anyone list like the different types of machine learning, like any type you know?
Thank you. Supervised learning, and there is unsupervised learning. There's also reinforcement. Thank you.
Awesome. Then can anyone give the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning?
So since we mentioned that we are training the machine to learn from past data, so the difference between supervised and unsupervised is that in supervised, we have labels which are used to train the model, right? And then in unsupervised, there are no labels, right? Things like clustering, there's no classes, right?
Awesome, that's correct. Okay, so now like, can someone then explain, does anyone have an idea of what is reinforcement learning then?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I talk about reinforcement learning, just wanted to add, I don't know if it's okay, we have something also self-supervised learning, so I don't know if it's also type of machine learning or not. So reinforcement learning is this kind of learning which is very natural. It's featured with 4 things. So we have agent, which can be a system, which learns into a given environment. So we have the environment, we have an agent, and then agents try to navigate through the environment to achieve a certain target. And to achieve that specific target or task, it has to follow certain policies, I can say. And then if it does well in achieving that specific task or a target, and then we give it a reward. and the reward can be positive or negative. So if it does very good in that specific task, we usually give it a positive reward to encourage it to do more of what is good. And then when it does the other ways, we punish it or we give it a negative reward to tell it like, hey, you should not do this. So you should optimize your policy when navigate around this environment. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the brilliant answer. Yeah, so now we're going to conclude like just a few examples here. So you just have like some task here. So like, can anyone tell us like under which category you can have this task? Like if you're trying to teach a robot how to walk. Okay, that was fast. You're trying to predict the weather. Supervised learning. Spam email classification. Yeah, supervised learning. I'm not trying. Teaching a computer how to play chess. Reinforcement learning. Grouping together different kinds of movies, of movie reviews. Okay. That's going so fine. Okay, so literally like the main part of this first part of the tutorial was just to refresh our minds. And then actually what you have here is like, we would like to do a supervised learning training. And ideally we want to work on the task of predicting energy. So imagine you're trying to build a new house and you want to ask yourself like, what's the best design you can have so that you can predict, so that your house can be like what you call energy efficient. So how much you don't need to spend a lot of energy to keep the building warm, or kind of like keep the building cold when it's warm. So that's kind of the task we wanted to do today, which is kind of like a linear regression task where we'll be predicting the energy needed to heat a building based on the structure, on the structural features of the building. So far, are you still having like is anyone able to, so far, like we're about to go on the second part of the tutorial. So the way the tutorial is structured is like you have like a little bit of text that you kind of explain what you're trying to do. And then you have, we come back on these equations that you saw during the tutorials. And then you have like this coding task. So in the coding task, most of the time what you're trying to do is to implement the expression you have in these equations. And the way the coding tasks are, is like we're going to give you like some function where we started implementing it. And then your goal is to just to complete these functions. So you generally have like these comments that says update me. Maybe there might be a hint. And then the goal is for you to, based on the input and what you have above and the explanation of the task, to complete the function. And generally after a coding task, the cell below has like, if you can run this cell to check if your implementation was right. And this is generally followed by a solution. In the case you didn't get it right, you can actually run this code or just open the code to see actually what you were supposed to do. And then after that, we move to the next concept.